Oh, Leicester were robbed against the Tigers, and Billy and Leicester fans are not happy about the standard of refereeing. We're going to be talking all about the whole game. We're also going to be previewing the Chelsea game again this weekend in the FA Cup, and we're talking about VAR and whether the Championship should have it. First of all, let's all check in with Billy. How are you, felt?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, good, thank you. All right then, 2-2 against Hull. Leicester should have won that, and crikey, how there wasn't a red card. I'll never know. Talk us through your version of what happened.
Well, it should have been a 2-0 game. Fass just completely gives him the first goal, trying to be. I don't know who he thinks he is playing out the back like that. He shouldn't have even been playing the game, in my opinion. It should have been Cody. Fass should have been dropped for this game. I think he's got too much of a mistake in him, as we've seen in the past, and he can get a bit cocky. So, yeah, I think Cody provides that leadership, and he had a really good game against Bournemouth, and yeah, and the game I can't even remember who played. Did we? No, Sunderland. Sunderland. Yeah, he played really well against Sunderland, and he just has that experience as well. He should definitely be starting with Vestergaard, in my opinion. And then the second goal, it's a poor headed clearance away. They get the ball back, and then outside of the box shot, and it's just driven into the bottom corner. Thankfully, we get an instant reply from that. But there are two goals that we shouldn't have gifted away so easily, especially that first one.
Yeah. Leicester looking a bit leggy to you in some positions. Is the season just taking its toll a little bit, given the style of football that you've played? And don't forget, it's a long season, this, with lots of games.
Yeah, I don't know if they're starting to feel fatigue. I know it's a lot of games, but players always say that they want to play as many games as they can. So at the end of the day, I don't think that should be an excuse. I understand, it's a new brand of football. They're going to be new to the physicality of the Championship. A lot of them, like, they haven't played in the Championship, at least for some time anyway. But yeah, we should be seeing off these games. We shouldn't be conceding so easily. We seem to just kind of give up in segments of the games, and we'll have like a couple players trying the hardest, and the others don't seem to be giving their all. You got Vardy out there trying to do it all by himself in front, and then we've got just players not hitting the right form at the minute. We've got some of our star players just really not getting to that level. They seem to have dropped right down, and they seem to be playing at about 50%.
Why? What is it with? I mean, Connor Cody for us, obviously not just as an excellent defender, but he is a leader on the pitch, isn't he? He's an organizer. We saw that. We saw that with Everton. We saw that previously with Wolves. Why can't he get a regular place in this Leicester side? Explain that to the neutral pros.
I honestly have no idea, because in pre-season he was playing all the games, and then he got a slight ankle. I think it was ankle or a foot injury or something. And by the looks of it, he would have probably played all the games from the start of the season had he been fit and not got that injury. But then Fast came in, formed that partnership with Vestergaard, and we started off really well. So I feel like maybe Maresca didn't want to break that, but I feel like now he has to change it. He has to go with Cody, because he's less prone to a mistake. When he had a few games early on in the Championship, it didn't seem like he suited the system. It seemed like he wasn't quick enough and hadn't adjusted after his injury that well. But now, after those two games with Bournemouth and Sunderland, where he really showed that, like, the player that he is normally, I think he's got to be playing for the rest of the season for us now.
Okay. Obviously, with the win at Sunderland and a good point at Hull, do you think that little spell is now over? We'll have a look at your fixtures, and we'll bring in our Leeds fan in a second as well, and compare the two. But looking what's coming up, can you see Leicester losing again this season?
I would. Realistically, we shouldn't be. I'd like to say no with confidence, but I don't think any Leicester fan could say we're not going to lose another game this season with confidence, because we're just not getting a good enough run of form going. It's very stop start, and we just seem really messy and shaky, and it's not a good position to be in at all. It's squeaky bum time. It's business end of the season. We really need to just focus in, lock in, and yeah, the players just need to. I don't know what they're doing. They need to have a lot of training sessions on some crossing, some shooting, the final passes, the set pieces. We're so non-threatening from set pieces. I don't like when we get a last-minute corner. We're not scoring.
Okay. All right. This week, it's been announced that Leicester potentially may have broken the financial fair play rules, and when they return to the Premier League, if and when they return to the Premier League, they may face some sort of deduction. Explain to the neutral who hasn't followed the story what this is all about and what's been the reaction on the terraces to it.
So I think it's mainly to do with, I'm not fully sure on the story, but it's the reason as to why we obviously didn't strengthen the squad in January, which has kind of hindered us because a lot of the teams around us have bought players in January and then they've been able to cut up, and we haven't strengthened that. We had to send, obviously you had to send Cassaday back. Not that he was playing amazing for us anyway, but yeah, the payments have it's not helped. It's not helped us in any way, shape, or form because the fans have not been on board with the board for a long time.
Okay. Obviously, it's not going to affect this season anyway. But there are already fans on channels saying, it should come in now. If you're guilty of it, it should be. If it's happened to other teams now, you should be docked points and into the playoffs. Into the playoffs you go, which we can't see that happening.
They seem very quick to do it against anyone that's not Man City.
That's right. Yeah. Well, as an Evertonian, which I know Leicester fans won't support, but as you know, perhaps many argue we should be in the Championship instead of you. But yeah, we won't. Don't get me into that one. All right, let's talk about Chelsea then. So this is a repeat, of course, of the cup final from a couple of years ago, where you out footballed Chelsea on that day under Brendan. It seems a long time ago, doesn't it? I bet that.
It really does, yeah. COVID times, just as things were starting to come back to normal.
That's right. Let's actually have a look at that Leicester side and let's just compare it to kind of what we've got now. Yes. So where were you when Tielemans scored? By the way,
we were at a pub watching it, and as the goal went in, someone next to us launched a chair up and over a fence.
All right then. I mean, look at this side. This is a side. That side would not have been relegated.
Well, yeah, you'd like to think so, but you know, it's Leicester. Anything can happen with that mentality.
Yeah. I mean, what qualities did that Leicester side have versus the qualities that the current side have, and which team would win if they were facing each other? Even though you've actually got some players, 3 or 4 players still there.
Well, yeah, 3 of them. Yeah, Ndidi, Kelechi, and Jamie all were quality in that season. Kelechi and Yuri basically saved our season that season. Those 2 clutched the FA Cup for us. They were absolutely immense, and even Ndidi wasn't firing on all cylinders like he usually was that season. He had a few ups and downs, but he's still such a good CDM. Luke Thomas, well, less said about him, the better. He can't even get a game at the minute. But I think it's safe to say that team would probably win just because of the quality and experience you've got in that team compared to ours at the minute.
Okay. Leeds fans are saying that the difference, the reason they think that Leeds are going to go and do this is simply because their manager's gone and done it before and yours hasn't. Do you buy into that?
I mean, yeah, experience definitely counts. You know, it makes sense to if they know he's going to know how to handle the situation. Maresca hasn't sort of there's instant pressure as soon as he came in. We deserve to be in the Premier League. We need to get back there as soon as possible. So we want to do it in the first season. So straight away that pressure's on him. Obviously now we're in a promotion battle. We're starting to shake a little bit. So you could say that, yeah, I could agree with that.
Okay. All right, let's bring in our Leeds fan then and let's have a chat about the fixtures still to come. Right then, let's run through it then. So Millwall, as we've already said, this Sunday. And then after that, that leaves us with 8 games to go. 4 at home, 4 away. Let's look at the home games. Hull, Sunderland, Blackburn, and then, that Southampton game, it could all be done and dusted by then. Do you see anything worrying there, Steve?
Let's be honest, Hull, they're trying to get in the playoffs and made some good signings in January, so that'll be a difficult game on the Monday, the Easter Monday. Sunderland, no, not really. Blackburn have seem to have fallen in disarray. So I think that'll probably be the easiest home game we have remaining. And then, I don't even want to think that we're going to Southampton needing the 3 points on that day. I hope it's a party day by then. But of course, let's not overlook their quality. Yeah, they've sort of slipped away a little bit, but I think they're only still, if they win the games in hand, 3 points behind us. So Southampton are a very decent outfit, but the one that I think there I'm a little bit sceptical of is probably Hull.
Okay, and then the away trips then, Watford, who that's entirely winnable. Coventry, who there's a little bit of a feisty affair, wasn't it, Ellen Road, when you played Coventry? So they'll be well up for that one. Middlesbrough, will be mid-table, and QPR, who hopefully by that point won't be fighting for too much, you would hope. So, Billy, looking at your fixtures, which are here, I hope, here we are. Whose fixtures do you favour, given you've just seen Leeds?
I'll go with the ones I think we can snatch a few points with. I'd say Blackburn last game, Millwall. I'd like to think we can get 3 points there. Norwich and Plymouth. I think I could see the others ending in some scrappy draws or something, or losing out on all 3 points if it came to it as well, against maybe Bristol or especially West Brom. They're in very good form at the minute.
Yeah, I look at that, Billy, and I can't see Leicester losing again this season.
Yeah, well, you'd like to think so. They're games we should be winning, but given our form at the minute, hopefully we can beat Chelsea on this Sunday and take that momentum forward, but it didn't really work. I mean, it did after Bournemouth. We got that 3 points, but then that came to nothing against Hull. So, it's hard to tell it because momentum is so up and down. We need to just get a good run of form, and just grind out 3 points. I don't care how, don't care if it's scrappy. We just need the points on the board.
All right, thank you, Steve, for that. Billy, let's come back to then the FA Cup then this weekend. First of all, is the FA Cup a distraction you don't need?
I think it is now, because we played our B team against Bournemouth pretty much, and we still managed to win. So, and then that kind of thought, we could go for it. But now the position we're in now in the Championship, with being we could potentially be second by the time the Chelsea game is played. So, I would say again, go for the B team. Don't if we have a chance of winning, by all means, go for it. But don't stick our first team out there, I'd say. So I'm going to say I think Chelsea could probably snatch it 1-0 just because they have the overall better quality. And realistically, when you look at the teams, Chelsea should be winning that game. But I'm going to say 1-0 Chelsea.
Right. Okay. Yeah, it could be a bit of a disastrous weekend, couldn't it? If you walk out of Stamford Bridge having been knocked out, only to find that Leeds have just gone and beaten Millwall and taken your spot. And of course, your game in hand then this weekend would have been Southampton, wouldn't it?
Yes, it was moved.
So that's going to be an evening. That's going to be an evening game, isn't it? At the King Power in the midweek. So that's going to be a tasty one to look forward to in a couple of weeks whenever it gets sorted. All right, thanks for joining us, Billy. Appreciate all your comments on VAR. And Leicester fans, if you want to see VAR in the Championship, if you think actually you would have already been promoted if VAR would have been here, put a comment below. Thanks, Billy, for joining us.
Thank you very much.
Cheers.